Sometimes being a no person instead of a yes person could be the greatest route to freedom because everybody wants a piece of you. So we're talking about saying no sometimes because some people are yes people.
Yes.
See? It's perfect. That wasn't
Yeah,
practice,
I know.
and you just automatically said yes.
I am a yes person.
Yeah, you're a yes person. And we were talking about the challenges of always being a yes person and how it can be exhausting because everybody wants a piece of you, and if you live that way, then it becomes an expectation, right?
Yeah, you can very easily overcommit yourself to things by saying yes
Yeah.
to everything and cause yourself so much unnecessary stress. But people like me, it's hard, not to say yes to things. You feel guilty. I mean, you feel selfish sometimes. You worry about people's feelings, and yeah.
You're definitely a yes person.
I am.
I'm like, say no, say
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I'm more rigid than you, and I'm very transparent, and
Yeah.
everybody who knows me knows this.
Right.
It's part of my personality type. Sometimes it's too much, I get it, but it's just who I am. But I will say, I mean, there are times where I needed to say no for things as well, and oftentimes it comes to your kids.
Yes.
Some of
My
those, sometimes you
grandkids.
got to say no. Your grandkids.
That just happened to me the other day.
Oh,
Yeah,
what?
because he wanted to spend the night. He was waiting so long, and he wanted to come. Every time I'd FaceTime, can I come to your house, Mimi? And I had to say no. But I felt so terrible. I kept thinking, I felt really bad because I had to say no. But
See, I don't feel bad.
I know, I do.
I don't feel
really
bad. Obviously,
I
I enjoy having them when they're well napped, happy.
I just love spending time with them. But yeah,
I know,
there's
I get
times
all that.
where,
I'm being sarcastic, but I
Yes.
don't feel bad when you say no. I feel like, you know what? If it's not the right time, you just say no.
Yeah.
And that should be accepted. And there should be no expectation that, especially from kids,
Yeah.
that mom and dad have to say yes to everything. And there
Right.
have been times in our life with our kids where that's the expectation from our kids, especially from you.
Yeah.
Because
they're used to it.
They're used to kind of pushing you into the answer that they want to be
Yeah.
a yes person. I have conflict with this.
yeah.
So I know we're talking about saying no. And I think there's like two really, really important contexts in this to understand, especially when it comes to success, wealth building, winning, all the things that we aspire to do in life. One is this. Yeah, I get you have to say no to some things, okay? So in other words, in my career, so in one of the businesses, I'm 36, probably 37 years in now. It's been a long run in the
Long time.
manufacturing space. Building that business, it's been a long run. There were many times along the way where had I said yes to certain shiny objects
Yeah.
or what I thought may be the next thing, it would have derailed the ultimate success. Because I always talk about, we're on this path and we start off, driving down the highway like this, and then at some point, our career, the success and everything starts to get, after so much time, usually about the 10-year mark, we start to get on this upward trend. And if you stay long enough, most people don't. Most people
Yeah,
jump
they give
ship
up.
and they find a new shiny object because they get bored, frustrated, whatever. There's a million reasons. And right when that trajectory of their career and their journey starts to come upward, they ditch.
Yeah.
And they get into something totally new. And guess what? Then you're back like this.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully it was something that runs parallel with what you did and you brought value and the market compensated you for it and you started up here again. But it's the time that you need to get into the vertical. And when you get into that vertical, man, everything changes. That's where the sweet spot is for your career, for the things that you're doing, where the market now sees you have value and it's significant value. But you have to stay long enough by saying no to the shiny objects and the things around you that derail that. No different with marriages. We were just talking about it. I mean, weren't you, just speak to that. We were just talking about a relationship that, there are some shiny objects, and what happened?
Yeah, the marriage fell apart. Yeah, because the shiny objects looked better and it just destroyed, two families, and yeah, it was just a terrible situation. But
sometimes you look
think
at a
it's
spouse. Sometimes you look at a spouse and think, my spouse isn't so shiny anymore.
Well, it happens, right?
It does happen.
Yeah.
Lucky for you,
But-
I've worked hard to stay a little bit shiny.
You are shiny.
Thanks,
You're
hon.
definitely shiny.
You're shiny too. I'm not
Anyway,
sure
it's-
what you mean by the shiny, but I'll take it.
It was your words. Anyway, it's just things like that. It's, self-control is a big thing too, of learning to say yes and no to certain things. But
Sometimes it's saying no to an invitation or something that is seems inviting to you in the marriage space. The affairs are not uncommon. People jump into these things, and that's another space where it's important to be able to say no and have some structure and understand, look, if I'm not in this for the long game, success is not just money.
Yeah.
It's in your marriage, it's in your parenting, it's in everything that you do. We talk about prosperity, and I always define that when I'm talking with somebody first. I'm like, hey, when I say prosperity, God intends for us to prosper. I'm not talking about prosperity and money.
Just
money is
yeah.
a piece of it, obviously, because it's the way that we transact in our society. But that's not prosperity to me. Prosperity to me is by the grace of God, being able to hold on to a marriage that, we're 30 years in, by being able to raise some kids that you're not disconnected with because, you had so much turmoil that, you now have a disconnected relationship, which we know many like that. It's having an appreciation and gratitude for the life, for every breath that you wake up each morning.
Yeah.
That's prosperity to me.
Yeah.
And we tie that to a word called fulfillment, and really finding fulfillment, but you have to be able to say no to some things.
Yes, absolutely. And I was reading when I was doing some research for this, and it was saying, actually saying no to things is empowering.
Yes.
And so I'm like, I need to embrace that a little bit more.
I totally get it.
Because I guess it can be empowering because you're like, okay, I can do it. I can say no, and I'm not going to feel guilty.
You feel like you now
and
have control over your life instead of everyone else who wants a piece of you and wants you to do this, commit to this, commit to that.
Yeah. Yeah, because your life can become chaos if depending on everybody's situation is different, but it could be work, family, marriage, whatever it is that you're saying yes, yes, yes all the time. It just brings chaos and stress that's not needed.
Yeah, so I totally get with that. I get that, and I agree with all that. There's a flip side.
Right, there is a flip side.
And the flip side is, and I teach this to people, that if you don't, now this is quite the conundrum. If you are not a yes person, you're missing opportunity. Now, the viewers are like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
What in the heck are we talking about here? Say no, but say yes.
Right.
Let me give context. So when I talk about saying yes, or when I teach people about saying yes, it's really a reflection of what I learned myself that was holding me back. And that's in the perspective of opportunity. And oftentimes we don't want to do something because it's like we don't want to go to that next real estate event because it's on a Wednesday and I'm tired after I get home from work and some of those things. But somebody asked you to be there or be a part of it or whatever else. And you're like, I don't really think I can make it. Yes, you can. Yeah. You can make it. You don't want to make it because it's easier not to. I had people, even in our church organization, who were asking me to be a part of certain things, serve in certain capacities, as a facilitator for one program, as a mentor for another. You know the story over the years. And what I decided was, if I really want to be all that I can be in this context of it, I have to be a yes person.
Yeah.
And I have to just say yes and trust that God put that opportunity in front of me. And if I don't at least touch on it, I may be missing the best next thing.
Yes.
Because I said no. Now, how do we end this conversation? Because we just made a mess of it.
Well, I feel like it depends on the situation, obviously.
Yeah.
If it's something that you know is gonna cause you stress, or you should. There's a line. If it's something beneficial, just say yes to it. But if it's something that's gonna be causing more chaos and stress or not really necessary, then you got to just learn to say no to certain things.
Here's the way I see it. I agree with that. Yeah. If it puts undue pressure on you, not out of laziness because you really don't want to get up off the couch or something like that, but if it puts undue pressure on you to do something you didn't want to do, or you don't have the time to do, or something of that nature, then maybe it's a no thing.
Right.
And somebody's putting an expectation on you that's not reasonable or fair, and you've just gotten used to saying yes, and you need to say no. It's okay to be selfish with your time. It's okay to protect your time. And that's one thing that is my biggest crux right now is I'm very cautious when I have a phone call or whatever it is. Some people, hey, can we carve out an hour? No, we can carve out 15 minutes. Yeah. 15 minutes. If we need more than that, then we can discuss how to do more than that. And I don't mean that in the context like I'm so important you can only get 15 minutes of my time. I don't mean it like that at all. I just mean there's so much time wasted and spent so easily on meaningless things. It's important to be super strict with your time and saying no to somebody, giving that away, because what can we never get back?
Time.
Never, ever. And when you're 20s, you don't think about that.
Right, you don't at all. But
Yeah.
the older you get, it just seems to go by
But
faster.
when you're in your 30s,
Oh, yeah.
you start
That'll be
noticing.
nice.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. Okay. In your early 50s, you start noticing that and you realize and embrace how powerful protecting
How
your time
important.
is.
Yes.
So, all that to say, I know we've made a big mess of say yes, say no. You really have to measure out what the two components are, what it is, and if it's stealing your time, and it's really somebody just putting an expectation on you that doesn't benefit you or is not really something you're interested in and you just say no out of an expectation, or is it something that you become a yes person and say yes to because you know it's in your lane, you know it's something you'd like to do, but maybe you're just feeling a little tired, foggy, lazy, whatever it may be, and you decide not to do it. So there are clearly two paths to learning to say no, but knowing when to say yes.
Yep.
That's it? Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were
Yep.
done. Yes, absolutely. I agree, for sure.
Okay, good. So, hey, if you like this video, give us a like, a subscribe, whatever. We'd love for you to join the conversation. So if you have any comments or thoughts or can add to it in what we're talking about in the context of saying yes and saying no, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. We're really just trying to do this together and share from things we've learned, some the hard way, a lot of failures, and some wins along the way. We'll see you next time.